I definitely believe that growing up in the suburbs kind of changed my views on success, what that's supposed to look like. And if anything, it wasn't helpful to navigating my own life in the future. At one point, I naively used to believe that, I'm just going to go to high school, get good grades, go to a good college, get good grades, get internships, do all the things that I'm supposed to do, don't get pregnant. And then after I get out of school, I'm going to get like a job that's going to pay me like $60,000 a year. And I'm going to girl boss my way up to the top and blah, blah, blah. And I realized very quickly, like, that's not easily done, even with the background that I had. My dad kind of brainwashed me to believe that, hey, in order to like really be successful and have a life worth living, that you need to make six figures. He said, Nika, the only reason that you were able to live the life that, you were was because of the money that I was able to make. And so if you want that for yourself, you've got to make six figures. Well, now that is deeply ingrained in my brain that happiness equates to six figures. And so that is literally all that I'm chasing. I go to college. I bust my ass. I get my first temp job at, a major insurance company. I get promoted very quickly. And the only thing in the back of my mind is you got to make six figures. You got to make six figures. You got to make six figures. That's the only way you're going to be happy. Until I realized very quickly that, your average American family doesn't even make $55,000 a year as a household. And that was what I was making when I first got my very first full-time job. And I realized that I was actually pretty comfortable. I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck at all. Would it have been nice to have more money? Absolutely. That's why I got a second job. But I realized that, in the grand scheme of things, I was comfortable. I was okay. And I was happy making only $55,000 a year. I genuinely believe that in the burbs, that happiness is really only equated to the amount of money that you make and the kind of job that you have and your ability to produce and put things out into the world. And it's so sad because that's really just not a fulfilling existence. That's not something that I'm excited to do for the rest of my life, Now, the irony is with this new job offer, I have indeed reached that goal that my dad put out that, you have to, in order to have the lifestyle that you want, you need to make six figures. But I'm realizing that, now that I've done it, it's definitely not all it's cracked up to be, or like it hasn't been like, I guess my brain has not shifted to accept the fact that I am now a part of a new demographic of people that get to live their lives a little bit more freely. And even though I do not have that privilege, I don't consider that to be the reason that I'm successful. It took a really long time to kind of unpack and unlearn the idea, right, that money equates to happiness. Does it help? Oh, for sure. Does it make your life easier? Hell, fuck yes. But it doesn't make you happy, and it is not the only measure for success. But at this point in my life, the way that I measure success is, am I mentally stable and healthy? Yes. Am I physically healthy? Yes. And do I have people who love and support me and cherish me in my corner? And the answer is yes.